all the ballots were turned into the post office yesterday, or dropped off, I won't say turned in. There's 4 candidates running for 4 seats. Cumulative voting is not allowed, that's been removed from the governing documents. The CCNR changed a couple of years ago. So you have 1 vote per person, or per household. There's 4 votes. There's also the minutes on the ballot from last year, and the IRS ruling, which allows the board to roll over monies to the next year. The format of the meeting will be each candidate will have 3 minutes for an opening statement. I'll have a little timer on my phone. I'll sit down while you're speaking. When it gets to be the time up, I'll stand up so you can have a visual representation of a timer. There's also questions in a hat that will pull randomly. Once we get to the questions, you'll have 2 minutes to answer the questions. Each candidate will have 2 questions. And then the final quote-unquote question will be another 3 minutes for a closing statement or to answer a question that you thought you would have liked to have had. And the reminders, like I said, the ballots were mailed yesterday. The inspector of election will count ballots on Monday, April 29th, and the 30th, I should say 30th, and the actual annual meeting will be held Thursday, May 2nd, here in the ballroom. So with that, we'll go to the introduction of candidates, and you'll have 3 minutes for your statements.
Are we starting?
Yes, Kathy, and then we'll go Kathy, Al, Tracy, Larry.
Okay, my name is Kathy Craven, and I'm running for re-election for the board. It's been an honor to serve on the board of directors, a responsibility I take seriously, to be entrusted with the care of our community. I have met so many wonderful people and have had the privilege of working with a dedicated and amazing board of directors. Over the course of my last 2 terms, I worked diligently to earn your trust, and if re-elected, I would continue to do so. I would like to share some of my accomplishments with you. During my time as a member of the board of directors, I have been the liaison to the finance committee, where we were able to project the needs of our community and accurately forecast what it would take to balance a $5.7 million budget, while remembering this is not only a business, but the place where we all call home. I have also worked and participated in managing our investments and our reserves to keep the community well-funded and our reserves at a comfortable level. In addition to the Finance Committee, I am the liaison to the Landscape Committee, Facilities Committee, and Community Planning Committee. I work with each committee to ensure our landscape is beautiful, our facilities are maintained, and we plan for growth in the future. I'm a member of the Contracts Committee and have worked requests for proposals to ensure our vendors are a good fit for our community, and we are receiving the best possible pricing for the work performed. I meet monthly with the Beaumont City Manager along with our board president and our first service management team to ensure our community is represented and our needs are addressed. I regularly review the Beaumont Planning Commission's agenda and speak during homeowner input with respect to our city's lack of infrastructure and traffic issues. Once a week, the Board of Director President and I meet with our First Service Residential Management team to review and discuss matters brought to our attention, as well as the status of current projects and next steps to keep them moving forward. One of the projects I am most proud of is our solar project. We'll be able to forecast our rate increases year after year and accurately budget for our electricity bills over the next 20 years. I participated in multiple settlement conferences with our legal team regarding the construction defect lawsuit against the builder. We were successful in winning a significant settlement that will help repair our roads. I have attended legal symposiums and have provided information on civil code and changing laws pertaining to the HOAs and how to keep the board in compliance. I am part of a team of local 55+ communities that meet monthly to discuss using issues facing our demographic, negotiating changes to civil code, and current challenges in our community. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your Vice President of the Board of Directors for the past 4 years, and if given the opportunity again, I believe there is so much more I can contribute if re-elected. I look forward to 2 more years of serving our community and respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you, Kathy.
How do I follow that? My name's Alton Gray. I'm running for the Board of Directors. I was born in Los Angeles, grew up in Riverside. Served in the U.S. Army, veteran and disabled veteran. I'm very proud retired from Coca-Cola with experience as a manager and supervision. I'm married to my wife Christina for 29 years. I have 4 children and 2 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. I have served on the Canine Corral Social Committee and Amphitheater Committee. Short, sweet.
Thanks, Al. Gracie?
My name is Gracie Luna. I've been a resident of Four Seasons for 15 years, and I first want to thank you for allowing me to serve on Four Seasons Board of Directors these past 4 years. It's been an exciting time to be able to help make Four Seasons the best place to live. I'm grateful to be able to run again for another term, and my hope is to be re-elected. I'm looking forward to continue working harmoniously with other board members as well as the management team. Being on the board of directors has given me insight as to what the position entails, and I do believe that I have the necessary experience to continue to do it well. Four Seasons board members must know how to plan and understand the budget, deal with disputes, discuss and carry out ideas, and listen, most important, to the homeowners. We are fortunate to have a great finance committee that oversees our reserves. And as a board member, I do look at every expenditure, and being detail-oriented, I try to also make sure that our reserves and expenditures are on course. My policy on reserves is no matter what we have to do, most important is to make sure our reserves are as close to 100% or above. I have for the past 4 years been the board liaison for the Landscape Committee, the Social Committee, and for the last year, the board liaison for the Conservancy. And for the past 2 years, the corporate secretary of the Four Seasons Beaumont Board of Directors. I believe my background in defense for 25 years, negotiating military contracts for the Department of the Army, my interpersonal skills, being detail-oriented and fair, putting our homeowners a top priority, makes me a good candidate for re-election. It truly has been an honor to be on the board of directors, and I would appreciate your vote in my re-election of this wonderful and amazing community as a member of the board of directors again for another term. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Gracie. Larry?
My name is Larry Workman, and as a board member, we are an integral part of directing the operations and supervising this community. We have established guidelines that we must make judgments and hold management accountable to keep our community good. We understand that board members are always asked to make decisions. Sometimes these may not be our own personal decisions, but they are to the betterment of the community. And we have to have familiarity with financial statements and the financials of the community. Again, this community is basically like a corporation. We have to maintain a profitable corporation or community. We are ambassadors to the community, both from the standpoint of operating and maintaining the input from you, the residents. We actively promote the goals and functions of the various committees to the communities, to the residents, and to the board. My experience as a senior staff for a $100 million plus worldwide company has given me a lot of experience, and I'm able to fulfill a lot of the responsibilities necessary. I have had marketing, sales, customer service background, and I think that all helps in working with the community. As a board member, I have in the past worked with the computer group, monthly meetings of the meeting of the computer group, the architectural review committee, the amphitheater committee, the communications or BREEZE group, CPC, and finance over the past 4 years. So with that, I ask for your indulgence, and I'd like to have another 2 years serving as your board member.
Thank you all. Next, we'll go to candidate questions. Questions for the candidates. All these questions were submitted by fellow homeowners, and they are in a hat that I can't see it to. And I'll pull them out randomly. We'll go back down the line where Kathy has the first question, and Alan, Gracie, and Larry.
Shake it real good.
I should think there. I'm doing my best, man. First question, Kathy. Describe what experience you would bring to the board that qualifies you to help run a multi-million-dollar enterprise like Four Seasons.
I think I would bring experience from the past 4 years as serving as the vice president, as well as my past career working for Verizon for 37 years, where I managed employees, budgets, performed RFPs, both answering and requesting. In the past, I volunteered for a domestic violence shelter where I worked with people that were in crisis, so I'm able to determine how people are feeling and how to help them as we go along. So I believe that with that past experience, I would be good on the board of directors.
Thank you. Next for Al. You would be one of 7 board members. How do you build consensus with different viewpoints?
I'm not familiar with that topic. However, I'm committed to learning more about it.
Thank you. For Gracie.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last you said.
Can the board of directors approve a proposal if one or more committees recommend against it?
If one or more committees?
Yes.
Well, we have a chain here. It goes to a committee which has to approve it, and then it comes to the board, and the final say is the board. So if they don't approve it, we don't see it on the board. And it's not going to come to us for approval. If I understood your question correctly.
I believe so.
Okay.
For Larry. Do you have personal aspirations or perceived conflicts of interest that could be impacted by board service?
Do I have?
Do you have personal aspirations or perceived conflicts of interest that could be impacted by board service?
No, I'm not running for any political committee or anything like that. I'm here to serve the board. I live in this community. I love this community, and I want to do whatever is necessary to keep this community as nice as it is, a good place to live.
Thank you. Back to Kathy. What are your thoughts on long-term strategic planning?
So we do have a long-term strategic plan that we just put out this year. I think it's going to benefit the community because we have everything laid out as far as how we want to perceive future growth, how we have our reserves laid out, how we're going to look at everything to look at, well, to provide, let me get this right, how we're going to look to future generations moving in here so that we can keep our home values up. That was one of the main things in the strategic plan. The other thing was to come up with a way that we could get everything out to our residents so that they would understand exactly what all the committees are, how everything functions all the way through, along with what our goals are for the future. And I think it's important that everyone look at that strategic plan because it's going to make you more familiar with the way we're going to move in the future. I mean, there's several things. community planning was instrumental in getting that strategic plan out. And they looked for months at how we can grow with the future. And one of the things we talked about was what we like today may not be what 20 years from now someone that's turning 55 would want. Because if you look at those people now, they're 35. There's a whole big difference between what they enjoy now and what we enjoy. So we're looking at how we can utilize our facilities and make it look and feel like home for future generations.
And for Al? How important is your attendance at committee meetings?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
How,
Is your attendance in committee meetings?
Oh, very important. I'm going to make every committee meeting possible.
okay, thank you. Gracie?
That was easy.
Don't dig that deep.
He's looking for the rabbit.
There's a rabbit in there.
There's no rabbit in there. The question is, are you able to make a significant time commitment for this role?
I have, I will continue to do so. I think most of you know me. Again, when I make a commitment, I follow through with that commitment. And I have always planned the best I can my vacations, my other activities that I do, which are quite a few around the community, around any board responsibility. Because when you do make this commitment, you make it for the homeowners. And the homeowners expect you to attend those meetings, be there on point, well-read, well-versed in what's coming up at that meeting. And I do, as all of us on the board knows, we all do the same thing. We get board packets, we read them. It doesn't take just 1 or 2 hours. In my case, because I'm extremely detail-oriented, my husband can attest that I sit there for at least 2 to 3 days. I read the financial statements, every single line of that financial statement, even though it's real easy just to read the first page and you sort of get a synopsis. But yes, I make a commitment, I stick to that commitment, and my role on the board and all the board members know that I do that.
Thank you, Gracie. And last question, Larry. How would you handle disagreements between board members to come to a fair and equitable decision?
Well, many times in our executive meetings, for instance, we get into a subject and there can be some pretty heavy discussions going on. And during that, we all voice our own opinions on what it should be. Bottom line is, we always seem to come to an agreement. Maybe it's not unanimous. There are times that we come up with a 3-4 vote or a 6-1 vote or something like that. But we come up with an agreement. And then the board itself accepts that decision as the position the board is going to take. So even though I may have been objection to whatever we were discussing, when it comes to the board decision, the official board decision, my vote is for the positive way or what the majority of the vote registered. That's why I said it's not always my own personal feelings of what I want for the community. It's what I feel is best for the community.
Thank you, Larry. That concludes the question portion. Now you usually have 3 minutes to have a closing statement or answer a question that you were not asked. We'll start with Kathy.
I don't have another long speech to read, so it won't take all 3 minutes. I did just want to say that it's been great serving on the board for the past 4 years. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I've enjoyed all the people that I've met, the work that we've performed, and I think we've tried to make this place better than when we came into this board. And I would greatly appreciate everybody's vote when you get your ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Al,
I have no questions to submit.
you want to make a closing statement?
I'm sorry, sir.
Do you want to make a closing statement?
No, thank you.
Gracie?
Yes, I would. Again, I've enjoyed being on the board of directors these past 4 years, and I do feel I've made a difference to making sure that everyone in our community, most important, gets the respect that they deserve. Has transparency from not only the board of directors, but also our management team. When I ran the first term, that was part of my reason for running. I came in and felt that we did not have the transparency. And I have made that a personal thing, that we do have transparency. Our management team is so transparent. Our board of directors, I know, is transparent. And I think that that's an extremely important thing, that everybody's being treated fairly and getting that respect that they deserve. And also, what else can I say? I just want everybody to have a fun environment in their golden years, which I still think everybody deserves. Again, thank you all for coming, and I do hope that I have said enough that you would put on your ballot Gracie Luna. Okay?
Thank you, Gracie.
Thank you.
Larry?
Well, I'm going to duplicate a lot of what Gracie said. When I came to the board, or the reason I wanted to run for the board 4 years ago was the lack of transparency and a lot of things that were going on for those of you that were here at that time. And since then, I believe that we, the board, most of us that were all here at that time, have changed the way the board operates and the way the community operates to give it a more transparent workings so that things don't go on behind the scenes that you weren't expecting or that type of thing. And so that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to join the board. I've been very satisfied with the board people that we've worked with. We've accomplished that, and I look forward to extending that even further in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Again, those final reminders, the ballots were dropped off at the post office yesterday, so you'll be receiving them any day now. The inspectors will meet Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th to count all the ballots that we did receive. And the annual meeting will be held on Thursday, May 2nd. Final reminder, please make sure you sign that green envelope. We always have a few that don't, and if you get a phone call, come on down or we'll come out to you. So thank you very much for coming.